organizing.
So then you point like
Yeah.
this one.
Okay, this can be your side.
Okay, ready?
Hello, welcome to the Integral Dose podcast and our first ever episode with an optional video component. If it's convenient for you, you may choose to watch along on Spotify video player, and we're also releasing this episode at the same time on our YouTube channel, Integral Dose Podcast. This video will contain mostly objects and close-up shots of objects that we will discuss in this episode. So if you would like to follow along and watch as we discuss these objects, do find the link to our YouTube episode in the description and notes section of this podcast. That being said, this is still primarily a podcast, and if you just want to listen to it, you're already doing so. You can always come back and check out the video when it's convenient for you to do so. So let's crack on. My name is Vale, and my co-host beside me in the same room, please introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Atika.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
Another day, another dose. Alright, this is the podcast that covers all things related to, integral to, radiation therapy. It is so weird that we're all in the same room. Usually we record separately to keep the audio tracks clean so it's easier to edit. So this episode might seem a bit less edited than usual, a bit more casual, and there might be a bit more background noise that we can't control.
It's okay, it's still great content though.
Yeah.
So in this episode, we'll be exploring what's in our pockets. Healthcare staff usually carry a lot of things, trinkets, equipment in their pockets, and this is a great opportunity to explore what they are and why we carry them.
Yeah, alright. I guess we'll jump right in.
Yoo-hoo, yes.
Okay,
Let's go.
So, okay, we can just pull out the ruler. Yeah, we can just...
Okay, here with hands.
Alright. Rulers are super important to us. We often need them to measure distances from tattoos, certain alignments, or other measurements. We use rulers to verify the couch movements too, to make sure that the treatment couch did move the exact amount that we wanted it to move. So an interesting point is that these rulers have to start from 0 centimeter marking. There's no 0 centimeter graduation marking. These are kind of like engineering rulers, you know. It's easier to measure on set with such rulers. Yeah, so sometimes we have to measure the distance of the laser to the tabletop surface, and we need to place the ruler against the table, so the measurement needs to start from 0 cm without extra dead space. So see how this ruler doesn't have a 0 centimeter graduation marking? Yeah, but this one has. So this extra space is actually not useful to us. Yeah, so we would prefer not to have that. We have to use rulers that start from 0, like this. Yeah.
Actually, I remembered when me and Vale, because we are batch mates, when we we were about to start our intern.
Yeah.
We actually tried to find rulers that start at 0. So we did like a mass purchase for the whole batch, just so that everyone would have a usable ruler. Because those that do not start at 0, they are technically not usable.
Yeah. So we had a whole procurement thing going.
Yeah,
like
we had that, yeah.
Ordered from Shopee or something.
Or I think people went to Popular and things like that. So it was a class effort.
It's a thing that's like, it's not too uncommon to find, but it's like super important. So if we end up using the wrong ruler, it's basically useless lah.
Can I add on? Actually, when I started my first clinical attachment, I didn't know that the rulers had to start from 0.
Oh, were all your measurements off by like 1 cm?
Oh, I mean, for the first day when I started using it, obviously, the therapist, my supervisor, pointed it out immediately. I'm like, okay, I will purchase a ruler that starts at 0 from then on. So yeah, if you're a upcoming student who's going for an attachment, or future students, just take note, you have to purchase a ruler that starts from 0. Yeah.
You're right. Actually, before, I think people who are not in this industry, they wouldn't know that there's actually a difference between rulers that start with 0 and rulers that don't.
Yeah. So next up, we have our name tag and maybe staff pass. This is how a staff pass looks like. Yeah, so basically, the staff pass grants us access. The name tag provides a form of identity verification so that people know that we are indeed who we say we are.
Recently, the security measures have heightened, and therefore, coming to work without a staff pass really hinders the day-to-day workflow that we have to access lah. So
I can't go toilet without my staff pass.
Yeah, and you actually can't go in and out certain rooms that you need to access daily, like rooms that require you to shift like immobilization gadgets in and out. These things may be locked. Yeah.
For good reason too lah, yeah.
Yeah, and actually on our name tags, it indicates our profession as well.
So this is my name tag. I am a radiation therapist.
Yeah, so that's how you can identify your allied health professional who will be treating you. The next item that we're gonna show, if you see the lights have dimmed a little, that's because in treatment rooms, this is how dim the rooms are. We usually keep it dim so that it's easier for us to see the positioning lasers, which we don't have in this room. As mentioned in the previous episode, patients undergoing radiation therapy come for treatment with tiny tattoos that were made during their CT simulation. And these tattoos are actually really tiny dots that we make on a patient's body or on their skin to help us with their treatment positioning by aligning them to the lasers. This is very long. As patients all have different skin tones, it may be challenging to identify the tattoo on patients with darker skin tones. Yeah, so some patients may also have multiple moles around the tattoo, which can be confusing sometimes. So torch lights will actually help us to see and differentiate the tattoos and the moles better, and will also help us to verify that it is the correct tattoo, because the tattoo is actually slightly bluish tint in color, whereas a mole is brownish in color, and that's how we can differentiate.
So the next item is actually a TLD. More importantly, it's called thermoluminescent dosimeter. So it's a radiation monitoring device, and it is important to note that it is not an active monitoring device like a Jaeger counter. It doesn't beep or alert us when there's radiation. As such, the way we use it, it's extremely important that we are very strict about this. So we always have our TLD on us at all times while we are working. And we actually weren't allowed to enter the radiation areas if our TLD is not with us. Also, we should not leave our TLD behind in the treatment room and get irradiated. It could make the reading inaccurate. It doesn't reflect what your body was exposed to. So how it works is that every 2 to 3 months, we submit our TLD badges to the National Environmental Agency, NEA, and they will actually heat or bake the TLDs to determine how much radiation the TLD was exposed to. So which gives an indication to how much radiation this certain RT was exposed to. So normally it is relatively very low, so it's 0. So for RTs who work in proton therapy, we carry a neutron badge as well. So we carry 2 badges. So proton therapy tends to produce more secondary neutron dose. So TLDs only measure gamma and X-rays, with the previous one. So not the most accurate for neutron exposure. So this neutron exposure or neutron decay is very fast, milliseconds, so it's actually very safe for us. But we measure them anyway just to make sure. Yeah.
So it's also, while I'm fiddling around with them, I also noticed that this thing, we have clips on them because it is extremely dangerous if we were to drop them somewhere, because that would throw off the readings of the amount of radiation that we were exposed to. So it's very important to keep these on us, so we do have clips. Usually this would be clipped into my pocket, and even if the clip were to dislodge, it would actually drop inside my pocket. So it's usually really fine. Something like that.
Okay, so sometimes we need to draw on our patients, and so we have markers in our pockets. Some of us have 1, some of us has 2, and can go up to 3, 4, 5, depending on where you work at. And for this particular therapist here, he has 3 markers. So, or 4.
I usually only have 2, but we did gather a lot of markers for this filming session.
Which a variety of our colleagues use different colored markings to indicate different things. But of course, across the department, each marker will indicate something similar. For example, when we use green markers, it's to indicate or to highlight anatomical areas on the body. And when we use the red marker, is to actually indicate the center point of where we are treating. So we usually draw a cross on the center points. The other colored markers that we use, like black and blue, are used to make markings on immobilization devices to tell us important areas we need to look out for and things like that.
A notebook is so important. I write down a lot of important information here. Yeah, sometimes I might just default to using my phone. Yeah, there's some notes here. There's some notes here that we can show everyone. Yeah. Yes, yeah, so there are important information, and like sometimes it's just nice to have something to scribble on, you know, yeah, record patients' weight, yeah, and things like that.
Or some pointers for ourselves, so that we remember it for the next round.
Prompts, yeah. Oh, yeah, some of us also happen to have some gloves in our pocket. These are unused ones, yeah. So I happen to have them because like sometimes I just grab a whole bunch when I'm attending to a patient, and like we end up with extras that we just stuff into my pockets. Yeah. So it's important to know that gloves can serve a few purposes. So the main purposes is like either to protect the patient or to protect ourselves. Yeah. So like when the environment is dirty, it has been soiled through urine, feces, or blood, or any other bodily fluids. So we would use gloves before handling that area. Yeah. Before touching the patient and helping, assisting the patient. Yeah, so these are the cases that I would use these gloves for. Yeah, so I would just like to point out that I would not use these gloves to like start dressing a patient, for example. Yeah, because these gloves have been in my pocket for a while, so they are not clean or sterile anymore. Yeah, so if I do need clean gloves to attend to a patient, like let's say the patient is bleeding or whatnot, yeah, and it's not urgent need for gloves, I would grab new ones, yeah, from the counter. Yeah.
We also have alcohol swabs in our pockets, so these come in handy when we need to, for example, remove certain markings that were drawn on the patient before, like. Or other times we may also need to sterilize the area that we're looking at, like before we do tattoo markings during their CT simulation.
Yeah, this is great. So just as we demonstrated how the markings were drawn just now, I'm demonstrating how we often remove them before the patient walks out onto the street, right? Yeah. Okay.
This looks like an ad for a skincare product.
Oh, this is terrible skincare, by the way. Alcohol is very drying, but it's alright. So, so primarily for cleaning off markings and primarily for sterilizing before like making tattoos. Yeah, so sometimes we just happen to have alcohol swabs around in our pockets. Okay, so Sarah has just pulled out a tube of hand cream from the pockets.
Yes, so this is hand cream. So sometimes our hands get very dry. We do have hand creams, but this is just very portable lah. So we just put inside the pockets and then we take it out, just put on our hands. Alright, anybody wants to use the hand cream?
Not everyone uses it. I don't use it, but yeah, it's nice to have.
We do have institutional
Provided
hand creams.
Yeah, we do use it on patients. Usually the hand creams is just like when we are out and doing the lunch breaks, yeah, or doing our paperworks, yeah. We just use the hand cream, right? So what's in my pocket? Yeah, so lip balm, yeah.
Oh, do you have this? Is lip balm? Alright.
Yeah, it's just a lip balm.
It's pretty cold in the department, so sometimes our lips get chapped, so it's useful to put it on. Yeah.
Do you know why it's cold in the department?
Why?
The machine.
That's right. Our machines require a certain temperature so that it doesn't get overheated. If it gets overheated, then it will actually stop functioning. So there is a cooling system in our machine as well. So yeah, cool stuff.
Cool
Speaking
stuff.
of being cold in the department, I'm someone who has very cold hands. So I used to have like a hand warmer.
Wow.
Yeah, so sometimes when I'm not in contact with patients, I will warm up my hands first before touching the patient. So sometimes they do tell me that my hands are so cold, and it gives them a bit of a shock when I touch them.
Yeah.
That's so considerate actually. So for those of you who are watching the video, you might notice that we have sprinkled around a lot of like merchandise. We have all these. I actually wear this pin around in the department. It's our Integral Dose podcast pin. I think it's really beautiful. Atika, do you really have all of these like in your pockets around the department?
Of course not.
Okay, so we're just showcasing here because it's really nice. We had these made quite recently, yeah, and we're really excited about them. They look really nice. Yeah.
Just thought it'd be fun to have them around and give out maybe.
Of course.
Yeah, and to share about our podcast with everyone we meet, and for our guests who have been on our podcast, we made a special one for them. I was on Indigo Do's podcast.
Yes, it's really nice. What is the most important thing that is in your pockets, guys?
Very important.
Very
when
important.
We are out of sugar. What do we need? Sugar!
Snacks!
Snacks! To refuel our energy
Right.
in between the day.
So, okay, what has Atika just pulled out of the pocket? Can you read it to us?
Nougat.
Nougat!
Yeah.
Nice. This
Quick bite.
does definitely offer us a quick boost of sugar.
Yeah.
What other things do we have lying around?
Sometimes we have things like chips.
Wow, you can fit into the pocket.
Okay.
Just barely, I guess.
And I guess some sweets as well.
Nice. Just a quick pick me up. Alright, yeah, they keep us like going as we continue handling our patients.
I think sweets is fine, but like chips in the pocket.
I mean,
It's okay.
No harm,
well, sometimes patients give us food, right? And we just like, oh, thank you so much. And then we just shove it into our pockets. And then like, oh, the next time it's there. Yeah, forgot to eat during lunch, then it's there. Oh.
Yeah, like I wanted to eat it during the meeting, but it's there.
Oh. Alright.
And I think the final thing that we want to share that we just realized today is that a lot of us have smart watches.
Yeah.
If you realize there's only 3 hands with smart watches, our 4th member doesn't have a smartwatch, so we're not saying that a smartwatch is a need, but it has been very useful in our work because we can use it to do calculation on the spot when we have to take measurements. And what else do we do? With smart watches.
as timers.
Yeah.
It's very convenient, like
Yes.
rather than reaching into my pocket, pulling out my phone and setting a timer.
And usually our hands are full when we are with patients.
Right.
So the watch really aids us in the little things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a great opportunity to like just get together and like talk about what's in each of our pockets. I'm sure some of us feel surprised that some of our colleagues are carrying around certain items.
Like snacks.
Hey,
Big
is pretty
snacks.
common. To be fair, these are small-ish enough packets that I don't feel like it's like hindering our movement and whatnot. It's not like I have like a 3-liter like bottle of water or something.
It's invisible.
Right, it fits really well. So
Sometimes it just happens to be there.
yeah.
Just happens to be there.
We hope that you've learned and enjoyed this session as much as we have.
If you have any burning questions, check out our feedback session on our website. Please feel free to leave feedback, more episode suggestions, or encouragement for the speakers or hosts. We'd really love to hear from you. Please rate, review, and subscribe. Follow the podcast on Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This has been your dose of content for all things related to integral to radiation therapy.
See you in the next episode!